Okay, we are live after that awkward pause.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, fellow awkward Facebook audience. Pearl and Andy Lockwood here. This is another episode of College Talk Tuesday because it's Tuesday and we're talking about college stuff. Today's October 10th.
Yeah.
And we are in the swamp and the weeds of college financial aid and application season for class of 2018. So I wanted to talk a little bit about financial aid tips and traps to avoid. We're getting a lot of questions about various aspects of the process, like how do I even apply? Where do I start? Can we even get any money? I had a conversation today, which was actually didn't get a chance to tell you, because we talk like maybe for 15 minutes at around 5:30, and then we disappear for a few hours, and then I go to the office and I see her around 7 o'clock, or 9 o'clock.
Right.
And I want to thank you for hosting today, for co-hosting. Pearl was a little reluctant today because she's very busy with what do you do?
Financial aid forms.
Oh yeah, forgot. I thought you were like getting a manicure or something.
Right.
Massages.
Oh yeah.
Hair coloring. Okay, so I was on the phone with a teacher from a neighboring district, and she had told me, first of all, she'd never seen us speak. We do a lot of local speaking for those of you in the New York area, and but she was referred by someone just recently who saw either me or us speaking at a local library. And she said, yeah, and the funny thing was, I remember last June someone else told me, oh, you got to go see these guys, and it turned out it was the same people. So it's like
Big fans.
It's like we're everywhere, even though we're not. But what she was saying was like, she took one look at the forms, and she's like, I have no idea how people do this themselves. And I said to her, you know what? Most people do it themselves, and in many cases, I don't know what the stats are, they're doing the forms reasonably accurately. But by the same token, you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
So I had the opportunity recently to have breakfast with a pretty successful CPA, and he was sort of reminiscing, if that's the right word, although he's trying to block out when he did the financial aid forms for his kids who are now out of college. And I asked him a couple of questions, like, well, what'd you put down for the value of your business? He said, oh, like $50,000. I'm like, you know what, it really should have been zero. And he had no idea. So even people who think the forms are straightforward and are very highly trained in the nuances of finances, they can make mistakes also.
Right,
so
and the rules that pertain particularly to the financial aid process are distinct. And unless you're going to learn and bone up on, I think it's like 1,100 pages of regulation, you don't know what you don't know. So you could miss a big opportunity that applies to you and answer something incorrectly on your financial aid forms that will sabotage your financial aid eligibility.
Yeah, or omit something,
right.
Or get
or
things,
mischaracterize something,
or get them in at the wrong time.
Right.
And that's another thing. So that was one of the segues for today. A lot of people have a question on when the forms due, and the actual answer is, unlike taxes, there is no due date. There is no April 15th or October, whatever. There is no specific due date. So what was the question that you got? Was it about the difference between getting applications in for admission?
Right.
Or
there is some confusion about financial aid deadlines being, needing to go in when as compared to the application for admission. So just to clear the cobwebs.
Clear the air.
Clear the air.
Cobwebs, very
Halloween-y.
appropriate.
Yes. Okay, so here's how it works.
We have to be in costume.
Well, not right now. It's only October 10th.
This is my costume.
Huh. And this is mine. Okay, so here's the deal.
Every joke I make.
The financial aid process is distinct from the application for admissions process.
So what question did you get?
So I am working on all of the financial aid forms for our clients, for all the forms.
And I am not.
And there was a question by some of our clients, understandably, about whether is it okay if the financial aid forms go in, meaning are filed prior to the time that the student actually files their application for admission to that university or college. And the answer is, it doesn't matter. They are distinct processes, and my rule of thumb is, get your financial aid forms in as early as possible to all of the schools you're applying to. And
Why?
why? Because you only preserve your eligibility for the most money that would be available to your family that way. It is a first.
Plus, you just get it
and
done.
you get it out of the way when
Yeah.
there are so many other requirements, as you are all, I'm sure, experiencing throughout the year. But what happens is, in my practice, I file all financial aid forms to all schools according to the earliest possible deadline of any of the schools. Okay, and that is irrespective of when the student sends their application for admission. They are separate processes, and what eventually happens is the financial aid application meets up with the application for admission at the school down the road, and
For
that's
cocktails,
for cocktails or what have you.
pigs in a
And
blanket.
that's basically how it works. So I hope I've dispelled the myth that anyone is waiting on their kid to finish and submit their application on the financial aid forms. You can do that right away. And what you need to pay attention to as far as June 30th, 2000, I don't know, in the future.
18.
And you would not be, if you held to yourself to that deadline, you would not be putting yourself in the best stance for receiving the most you can financially. So if you are applying early action or early decision to a school, then that will be one set of priority financial aid deadlines. If you are applying regular action, then you will have a different priority financial aid deadline. In any case, the sooner the better. So figure out what your earliest financial aid deadline is and file according to that to all of your schools.
So, we say that like over and over again, but we still get these questions. If you have any questions, just pop them in comments. Say hi. If you're watching us, we have a bunch of people on right now, and that we will check this page periodically just to make sure that nothing's slipping through the cracks. I want to segue a little bit into the applications and specifically the idea of marketing. And this applies for seniors who are finishing up their applications, and it also applies for younger kids who need to think this way in order to distinguish themselves. So first, I'm going to start with a rant, which
You're doing the ranting?
yeah,
Okay.
we'll switcheroo today,
Fine.
and then I promise to bring it home. There's a point here. So. Occasionally and recently, we've each received comments from people who are in the advertising and marketing fields, complimenting us on what we're doing in terms of like stuff like this, like educating people, getting ourselves out there, trying to establish trust. So people feel comfortable picking up the phone and having a conversation with us and all that. Because of course that's why we're doing this, because we are in business. But we also, of course, we chose this field because we want to help people, as many people as we can. So it's really two things. So yesterday, I got in contrast to and I just started telling you about this, in contrast to all the positive comments that we've gotten over the years from marketing people, I got an email from someone who received a postcard, which I will absolutely admit is goofy. I don't have it here. It's in the other room. It's probably not even worth showing, but it's a Halloween themed postcard where we're in Halloween costumes, and the whole idea is to not get spooked by college costs, and it's got all these bwahaha and all these drawings on there, and it shows me with a Dracula, cheesy penciled in Dracula thing that our printer did for us, the Count and Countess von Lockwood, and okay, so the response I got was got your postcard. I hate to see our clients waste their hard-earned money, but if I was in the market
on anything but me, parenthetically.
Okay, I was doing the ranting.
Sorry,
but the gist of it was the marketing was to me, I wouldn't have hired you because it shows that you don't take this seriously. Right. And paying for college is very serious, and I can really help you because we work with clients to help them brand themselves and all that. So first I just kind of went, ha ha ha, whatever, and then I started thinking about it, and I was like, should I really write him back? So I don't have time to do this stuff, but I'm like, what, I could use a break. So the gist of my response, which I haven't sent yet, is and this is where it's related. I'm going to relate this back to college. Okay, is that clearly you don't understand what my marketing piece was doing. It's designed to attract the types of people that I want to spend my time talking to, that we want to have as clients, because we're pretty selective. We're over. I mean, I'm not saying this to brag. I'm just giving you reality. We're overwhelmed right now. We've been hiring people. Pearl needs more help, but I've been hiring people, and we honestly we can't keep up. It's literally 7 days a week now, and all that. So this guy doesn't know this, but I said to him, look, it's designed to attract people who want to feel less stress about it, who have a sense of humor, and recognize that we can help them relax a little bit. And it's also designed to repel people who are stressed out about it and who don't have a sense of humor. And then I said, or in your words, you. and then I said, I gave him some other response in terms of if you saw my response rate, you saw our results that we're tracking, all this type of stuff. You probably wouldn't feel like you were qualified. And then I looked at his website,
right,
which sucked, by the way.
Right.
I mean, it was just
Shocker.
like it was all this like
I would say
it was all
try
like
not
Dorothy.
to be so obvious that your pretext to get
By the way,
clients,
there-
Mr. Commission Breath.
Well, he okay. I don't fault him for that either.
No,
by
I
the
don't
way.
fault him,
I just
but
don't like
there's
the way
a
he did
stupid
it.
way to go about doing
right.
it.
Okay, correct. So it's the message. It's
Talk
how you
about
communicate
repelling.
that message, right? So his website was he's an employee of this place too. So the website was something like, we're at the intersection of creativity and connection, and we have offices in Long Island and New York, and blah blah blah. And so I said, is that really like the best thing that you can say about your company? That
And
like,
this
why
is
would
what
I
you
care
do.
where you're located? We have people who work for us in the Philippines, in North Carolina, in Boston, in all over, and they're great. So anyway, here's the message that I want to tie into college stuff. Applying to college is marketing also, and so much of this, so much of what kids do, and parents think about is, how am I going to sell myself to get in? And that is proper, but what's also equally important is what pond you're fishing in terms of where do you want to go? Like, what's a good fit for you? So, for example, Bentley College is so different than Bard College. There's and that's an obvious example, but their colleges are different. And every year we talk about this a lot. I probably had 2 conversations about this literally yesterday with different people. Every year we talk about kids who go away to college, and then 3 days later they're back with their tail between their legs because their romanticized view of what they were hoping the college was going to be like didn't match up with reality.
Yep.
So it's about choosing your message and how to distinguish yourself and all that, which I was trying to do in this postcard,
Right.
which, by the way, has gotten a really good measurable response, even though only half of it I think has been delivered at this point. So, but also we're trying to get people to self-select whether they are right for us. If you're watching this, you probably understand we have a sense of humor, and we try to add some levity into the whole situation, the whole chaos, I guess.
Yes.
But that's what you should be doing too when you're picking your college list. You're not going to be a great fit at every college that you have heard of. There are a lot of similarities, and I would actually argue there's more similarities than differences, but there are differences. So you want to be careful about not only where you end up going to college, but where you market yourself to, and understand that you should be trying to weed out places that you're not going to be a good fit for. And it could be, who knows? It could be an ultra-liberal place versus a pretty conservative place. It could be just typical stuff like big or small. It could be like a college that's really kind of cutthroat and competitive versus more collegial and just kind of open and stuff. So just keep that in mind. I thought that was food for thought.
Yep. Absolutely is.
Now let me ask you guys, anyone watching this, let me ask you this, because we were just debating about this. Speaking of marketing. We're having sort of an identity, not really, a mini identity crisis, because it's a good opportunity for us to think about our what we do, and we're about to open an office next month near our house in actually technically Glenwood Landing, right on the water, very beachy, and our tagline is "College Success for Less." Pearl, what you were saying was, well, we don't only do financial aid and scholarships and all that,
Right.
which is true, because we have a lot of people just hire us to help them get in, marketing
Right.
for college.
We do everything, A to Z college.
Don't go into commercial.
No, I'm not going into
okay.
commercial,
So-
but the truth, even if it's, at the very starting point, you don't even have an idea
Well,
what
it's
you want to
descriptive.
study
It is descriptive.
in college.
The
What
college
is?
successful list is descriptive. It doesn't talk about everything, but neither does Coca-Cola, the real thing, or things like that. So, what about another one I thought about is, because this is just hearing you talk to people all the time, it's kind of like sanity in the middle of chaos,
Well, that's
or something, and that doesn't describe anything, but that's really
Right.
what we do also, or clarity amidst chaos, or something like that. I mean.
Right.
So I'm just kind of kicking this stuff around. I know a bunch of other marketing guys, but if you guys are watching and you have any opinions, please throw them in there. And of course, if you have any questions about college stuff, getting into college,
Or Halloween
financial aid,
postcards.
or yes, scholarships, essays.
Career direction,
Yeah, it's a whole nother thing.
right,
Yeah,
test prep,
yeah, that's another one. It's about the next 40 years, not 4.
correct.
We have all these different things.
Remember, this is as huge an investment as some of the biggest investments you've made in your life. It's not different really than a down payment you may have made on a house. I'm sure that everyone takes that choice very seriously and does their due diligence and does an inspection on a house and make sure everything is just so.
Or buying a business.
Buying a business. Why should the same analysis not be when you're making that same kind of investment in a college education?
Yep.
And really, college is not an end result. We can all admit it is a vehicle to the rest of your life.
I admit that. I'm okay admitting that.
I know.
It's a means to an end.
It
in
is.
theory, it's an investment that should pay off.
Correct.
You should get something out of it more than what you put into it.
That's right.
All right, who is on that we should say hi to? I see Jordan is on.
Hi,
I don't
Jordan.
know who else is on. I see a bunch of other people
Jordan
who I don't know
is
why we
pretty
can't
awesome.
see. Oh, the awesome Jordan.
It is Lloyd's Jordan.
Well, we know 2 Jordans.
This is Lloyd's Jordan.
Okay, I guess she's
Miss
awesome.
Yeah, Miss Amazing.
I like her a lot more than Lloyd. Ooh, am I on the air? Okay, so on that note, I usually like to throw in a few insults, Don Rickles style, before we conclude every episode.
Okay.
The great Don Rickles, may he rest in peace. Is there anything else you want to talk about? This is sort of like a non-focused but important episode. They're all important. God.
Stay ahead of the curve. Get your financial aid forms in. Make sure to follow up on everything and anything you file and submit, not only financial aid wise, but your application. Stay on top of your guidance counselors. Make sure they're doing what they're supposed to. This is definitely not a time or a process to do your part and then look the other way.
Trust but verify, as
Verify.
Ronald Reagan used to say all the time.
That's right.
Okay. On that note,
Not getting political. Just
Yeah.
mentioning.
it's just that's a historical note.
Yes.
Yes. All right. So thanks for watching this episode of College Talk Tuesday. If you
Yes.
have any questions or comments, what should they do? What?
Please post them in our comments. We will, even if it's on a replay, we will get back to you and hopefully
Well, most
clear
people
the
watch on
way.
replay.
Yes.
Because they actually have jobs or they do something in the middle of the day, unlike Jordan.
that is not true.
Okay. This is not a violent show. Okay. We're going to go now and probably duke it out. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.